All right, guys, in this video, we're gonna meet up with our lender, Jodie Tanga.
This is the heart of Kailua. When my mom and dad bought this, $1 billion? Would you call this tear down?
Why the hell are you filming? Get away. I would call the cops.
Wow, I would be pretty irritated too. Are you kidding me?
She grew up in Kailua, so she's gonna show us where she grew up, private schools, talk culture, talk housing, and show you everything from the luxury of luxury Lanikai to swimming pools. Kailua is sort of a transitory, like hybrid residential tourist place, but not here.
Not here.
This is more rooted.
We call it the real Kailua.
This is the real Kailua.
Yes.
Okay.
This is local, residential. This is super safe. I am not even kidding you. We were like 6, 7.
Just running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, that's in the 70s, 80s.
It's in the 80s.
Nah, just kidding.
Mid-80s.
Mid-80s. 80s, early 90s.
When I just think back to like being a kid,
Yeah.
this is literally, we would, from our house, we would, in our group of, 15 kids, ride our bikes. Sometimes we would be rollerblading. Sometimes we would be riding our bikes. Some people would be walking, skateboard, whatever. That at the end used to be a fun factory right next to the sushi.
That's Boots and Kimos, yeah?
That's what's in Kimos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that used to be.
It was Fun Factory?
Yeah, Kailua Happy Nails. It was called The Pharmacy. A whole entire rack of like 5-cent candy. We would get our candy. I mean, we would torment the McDonald's. That McDonald's right there.
That was your brother's first job, you said?
He like wanted to work. He like begged my parents.
Have you ever watched Young Sheldon?
Yes.
It was Derek Young Sheldon?
Derek was young Sheldon. My parents were like, sure. He was like, I already applied and I can like start tomorrow. Derek was young Sheldon.
He's like, I need to fund my IRA, Mom.
Yes, the Round Table Pizza.
It's just Round Table Pizza.
I mean, it's Round Table Pizza. This is the only location that has the pizza potatoes.
I didn't know about
So it's a special dish, little potato skins,
that. Okay.
but with pizza, like with all the pizza toppings.
TGIF, cheddar bacon, but pizza.
Right.
Leave us a comment if you know about this shopping center. We're gonna go to Jodie's home spot next.
Imagine flag football in the middle of this street.
Yeah.
Like no cars ever. I mean, I know there's cars on the street now, but
Right. It looks like a cool street in that, like riding bike, maybe a bike ramp or play football. There's chain link fences that Mahi and I say it, like they go quaint, not junk. Like I like the character of that chain link fence.
yeah, it's funny because when my mom and dad bought this, my grandma, who is like old school Japanese from Yokohama, Japan,
Okay.
she was like, we need to build a fence because I don't want the kids playing with all the other kids in the neighborhood.
Oh.
And so we could only play in there.
There's also a mixture of things here. So you have this home that you grew up in that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they're building or doing construction over there. On the way in, did you see the wood framing? They were doing an addition on a
Yeah.
home. You have these big homes here. that
Those
probably have some-
those all have been built up by like the next generation.
They were small homes.
Yeah, all of these.
All
All
of
of these
those.
have been built up. None of those were there. This house has been completely built up.
Yeah, I mean, stucco, that's obviously not kind of fitting in the neighborhood. It's still cool. And then you have, some other homes that maybe have some deferred maintenance. An old neighborhood that retains character, kind of giving like Hawaii Sandlot movie vibes. It's both
I mean,
things, yeah?
the thing is, there's a lot of like multi-generational families that these homes are never going to leave the family.
And the people who are charged with maintaining them now may not be in the financial position or just, it's the second or the third generation.
Right. You're going to have your two types of multi-generational families, right? You're going to have the ones that are like, awesome, we're taking over, we're going to build up and we're going to make everything cherry.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have the other ones that are like, damn, we're so thankful that our parents had the forethought to invest in this property, which is now, believe it or not, millions of dollars.
Right.
But dang, we need to maintain it.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I know a lot of the families that are still here.
Yeah, how many of the families from when you grew up still either those people or their families are living on the street? You think what percentage? Half?
More than half.
More than half.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this part of Kailua. It's rooted.
It's rooted.
It's rooted over here.
There's families that have been here that
car coming.
you just know they're going to be here. This is where they're going to be. This is where you're going to find them.
Right.
And this is where their kids are going to be able to come. In case there's nowhere to go, this is where they're going to go.
And so you would want to buy here, but would you want to buy it just for nostalgia or would you ever live here again?
Our spot where we are,
It's unique. It's cool.
it's unique and it's pretty much like everything we need. As I was building Pacific Rim Mortgage, it was a huge goal. Like
buy it.
I affirmed it. I wrote it down in my journal. Like I will buy my family home, like that I grew up in, but I would say like if the opportunity came up now, I would probably just want to find a good investment with good underwriting. I don't really think I need to own this house anymore.
So I'm looking over there, and you don't even like when I call it Kailua Hills.
No.
But to everyone else, like there's Kailua Hills, Enchanted Lakes. You know what? I didn't mean to get into this like we did with Sam last week. Liliha is Kalihi. It's in Nu'uanu or it's in Kalihi?
Liliha.
Liliha is
Honolulu.
You're from here, so we call it what you want to call it.
Right.
2 questions. Do you say Enchanted Lake or Lakes?
Enchanted Lakes.
The
Well, it's not
lakes.
Enchanted Lake.
No more lakes.
I'm just saying.
That's just what it
it's
is.
Enchanted Lakes.
And then the other side of Enchanted Lakes that we all call Kailua. Which side is nicer? Which side is more gets?
Well, I would never call anywhere really in Enchanted Lakes ghetto.
I didn't say ghetto, I said gets. I would never say that
I would never call
on this
anywhere
real estate
in
channel. Which side is nicer?
that side of Enchanted Lakes.
Is nicer?
Yes.
Why?
The houses are nicer. All the houses were newer.
Not all. I can take you over there because I've done some sales over there and they're not all that nice.
I think most of them are newer though, right? From what I remember, like when
Okay.
I would go to my friends' houses up there, they were bigger.
Those are the newer, nicer, bigger
They
homes.
were bigger, they were newer.
These are, 70s, like this is obviously the original home. That's the addition, right?
Right.
And so a lot of Enchanted Lakes homes, when I think of this side of Enchanted Lakes, are these like flat 70s style homes.
Single level, 3-bed, 1.5 bath.
Yes.
With a nice little bonus room.
You know the reason why I say it just depends? When you go to coreteamhawaii.com, go to the bottom, fill out the contact form, get in touch with us. We introduce you to Jodie's team. Our assistant calls right away, 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, and then we try to pick up on Friday and Saturdays too. But there are some properties that are on the water and they're beautiful and you can't achieve that over there. And so they both have their amazing properties.
Oh,
And on average, I feel like I see more nicer front yards over here. So that's why to me, I'm like, well, they both have their baller properties. And then over here, you see these like on average, maybe not that one right there, but on average, you see these nicely groomed yards like this one. Or even that one, right? Like we were just standing by. Can you see why I think this side is nicer of the two?
I can. This is where I grew up, knowing the people that I did know that did live on that side of Enchanted Lakes. All their houses were a lot nicer than my house.
I see.
But they are bigger.
There's the Hillcrest area of Keolu Hills.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Which is a different thing. So would you call it that area of Enchanted Lakes, or it's just its own thing?
That's not Enchanted Lakes.
Okay, so up on the hill,
Yeah.
over there, these amazing properties with sweeping views. And shout outs to Stefan and Didi who bought over there. Like, these cool properties over there, right? Stay tuned, and we're gonna drop some real estate knowledge about how you could potentially qualify for more by getting the right type of property like this one behind you. You're self-proclaimed the first ADU in what, America or something?
Yeah.
Jodie is such an optimist. You feel you guys were early to the ADU game at least, at a minimum.
Early to the ADU game
To the
for
legal.
sure.
Especially to the legal permitted ADU
To the
game.
legal.
Hi.
Hi.
No, we're filming all around Kailua. Okay, I will move out of respect for you. Yeah. On a public street, we can film anywhere we want. Well, Kailua kind of thing sometimes.
Wow.
Before, if you had an ADU, you couldn't count that rental income
Correct.
towards your debt to income ratio, right?
Right.
Normally for a 3.1, 3.1.5, your mortgage would be, say your mortgage are $5,000, just use a multiple of 5. And now you have this ADU that you get $1,000 for. Years ago, it had to be a legal duplex, so that $1,000 didn't count towards income.
Correct.
But now, if there's a legal ADU, you can, right?
Yes.
How often do you see that happen?
So as long as it's a legal ADU, and that does not mean a 2-unit property.
It has to be a legal ADU. Can it be, oh, we put up a door, we gonna rent half of our house?
Right. So that's the cool thing about it, is that the way that a single family home with an ohana unit or a legal ADU is zoned is as a single family home.
Okay.
Right. So when you guys are filtering searches and you're sending properties to all the buyers that want that type of multi-generational living option, they're going to come up as single family homes. And so it's just hugely beneficial when we're able to take the potential rent on the ADU and then use it to boost up qualifications.
Yep.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's a game changer.
I hope most agents and lenders know that by now, but there's still some that don't.
There's a lot that don't,
There's
I
a lot
think.
that don't, yeah, so-
And honestly, lenders can have their own overlays. Just because it's allowed, like the basic Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac allow it, that doesn't mean that everyone can do it.
Good point.
This family right here, they used to babysit
Really?
me. Yes. She was like the neighborhood babysitter. This is crazy. to see the neighborhood. Like honestly, I haven't been here in
You know, not like you come to spend any time or walk on the street.
Yeah, it's bringing back memories. It's been so long.
So Jodie said these are the secret stairs.
Secret stairs.
I was expecting something a little
What
more.
were you expecting?
A little more secret.
Oh no, this is it. This was where we would go. It was a secret for us kids because it's just a shortcut.
So the elementary is right there.
It's up and then like across the street.
Kids are walking home, parents are walking home here.
Yeah, it would always be like a fun race, right? Where if my grandpa would leave, he'd be like, I'm leaving. And I'll be like, okay, I'll meet you at the top. So he's driving around and then up. And I would run to the end and run up these stairs and then he would pick me up.
I know Jodie, always been competitive. So, okay, before we go up, I have a question. If you were to name neighborhoods
Yes.
where someone might come out and say, why the hell are you filming? Get away. I can call the cops.
Kailua.
Kench, Kailua's in your top 3, right? Hawaii Kai. Think about like a Kahala or something. There's a better chance they're not home and or don't live there.
Kailua would be 1. I'm
number
sorry.
one,
I have to say it.
There's reasons why people call it Kailua, and another disparaging term that locals may say is California. Hey, Kailua is amazing. I sometimes even have thoughts of moving to Kailua.
I feel like back in the day, the way the neighborhood used to be, it wouldn't have been like that. It's
and then
definitely
it looked like the
changed.
neighbor called the other neighbor.
Right.
And then they were talking. And
that's interesting. I knew the other neighbor. So like when I go say hi to her, then she's gonna be like, oh my God. I don't think I would have necessarily thought that would happen. And honestly, I feel like we could have been in front of a lot of different houses. Like they're transplants, one way or another. Yeah. That was my house.
But to acknowledge that is their house now.
100%.
They own the house.
100%.
They feel some sort of encroachment of privacy. And I can understand that. Now your house is on Google Street Views and we live in a different world. I can understand, but handled real shitty with no aloha, right?
Yeah. There's a better way to do it. Like, hey guys, what are you guys doing? You know, versus like,
There are a lot Enchanted Lakes things are going on here too. One is construction. A house that was obviously flipped of some sort. Power lines, no sidewalk. And then you have like a house over here that, I don't know, the grass looks really long. It may just be that they didn't cut it for a while. Waited against like, my grass is my life. So it could just be that that one didn't cut it for a while. This is an active place where flippers, investors are always like sending postcards, calling and trying to acquire these properties. These investors know that a lot of people are willing to pay pretty high dollar to be in this neighborhood.
It's not just a busy neighborhood where there's cars in and out. And it's
just
like
action all the time.
Yeah. When someone drives through, it's like someone's dropping off a package, it's the mailman, or it's someone coming or going home. Those are the reasons why someone's gonna be on that road, deep on Alahaki Street, you know? That's why quickly like neighbors are calling each other like, what are these people doing? Why are they standing?
So they're gonna be, I can just see the comment section lighting up. Yeah, forget them. Tell them go back to the mainland. Yeah, well, you guys filming in front of people's properties. Perfect. That's where I want to live because my kids, 11, I just started leaving them home, you know, when I go Walmart.
Yeah.
And if someone were to come, Karens are right on it. We try to approach it respectfully, and you know what? It just is what it is. I know we're talking about California and whatever. Hey, Mr. Tanaka could have easily yelled if you touched one of his blades of grass. So there's local people that would be dicks too.
Oh yeah.
So I'll point that out as well.
So this is St. Anthony's School in Kailua. This is one of the Catholic schools, private Catholic schools in Kailua. This is where I went.
She said the main private school, but I can't tell if that's Jodie's sort of stoke and optimism that she has. Is like the school I went to is the main one, or is this really like one of the main schools in Kailua that non-public?
There's St. Anthony's and then St. John Vianney. And we were at the time the main, like the more dominant Catholic school.
So for example, how many people graduating your class?
Probably about 45.
What I know about this school is that you went here, someone we know said she came out of nowhere and then she took my position on the soccer team from some small school. What is it? Center midfielder?
Center half, which is now in new soccer lingo is the 6.
Jodie was the quarterback of the soccer team.
Yes.
Hell, I don't know soccer. Did you spend time around here, or was like go to school, go home?
So,
at any point were you old enough to just storm down to the beach on your own, or?
I mean, yeah, all of it.
Because we're not that far. As the crow flies, I haven't dropped that in a while on the channel. 300 yards?
Yeah.
To the ocean? It's right there.
Yeah, so we did all of it. I mean, my parents would drop off Derek and I. They wouldn't even spend the time to turn into this road and drop us off. They would go up that other road so that they could get straight onto Pali.
They gotta go
But
places.
anyways, and they would drop us off at like 6 a.m. and they'd be like, peace out. We wouldn't even see them until 8 p.m.
Safe neighborhood or bad parents? What do we got?
So we're going safe neighborhood
Okay.
and very busy, hardworking parents.
Yeah, I believe it. No,
Anyone else that went to Catholic schools in Hawaii will know there's the Catholic Schools League. Catholic Schools League, a serious
that's
league.
ILH within the ILH?
Baby ILH. Basketball, volleyball, track. I played all those sports.
I would tease her that she excelled in a small pond, but she also excelled at the next level and then the college level, so we'll leave her alone on that. Let me ask you a question real estate-wise. How's the feel of this neighborhood? What would it be like living around here versus living in the Enchanted Lakes area? Because price per square foot in Kailua on average is just higher. It's a more expensive community as a whole, but then of the sub-communities, Enchanted Lakes, Kailua Hills area, are one of the cheaper places you could live. Now we're getting closer to the beach, and so while even if something might be a similar price here, it may be less of a home. Now this might be a bad example because that land is so large for where it is.
Right.
But if this were on barely no land, it might be more of a little plantation home with not a carport and a different product for the same price. Or that could even be more expensive than one of those 1.5 in Enchanted Lakes just because it's closer. But I think I already know from you, you'd rather have grown up over there.
Oh yeah.
But what's the vibe different? What's the vibe check here versus there?
There was a lot of different types of people. Even back then, there was a lot of military.
There or here?
Here that went to St. Anthony. Another thing I was going to mention to you guys, like, did you notice how easy breezy beautiful that commute here was? There's just no cars on the road.
Was it that?
Yeah, it was just like boom, boom, boom. If we had been driving through by where Core Power Yoga, Whole Foods,
you mean in comparison to other parts of Kailua?
Yeah, it's local traffic only.
I got you.
When I come from Kaneohe, which I often do, to come, because now some of Dash's flag football games are at the rec center. We come through Kaneohe Bay Drive. We're like 2 miles away and it'll take me like 18 minutes.
So you're talking coming from Kaneohe Bay Drive, hitting the like Aikahi part of Kailua, and then going through, I guess we could say North Kailua. That's not really a thing. But going through that area, it's just congested over there.
It's congested.
And also,
at all hours.
It's flat. Other than proximity to the town and the ocean, like there's not as much character to that town.
There's not.
To that area of
There's
Kailua.
not. We were one of the only families from Enchanted Lakes. 90% of the neighborhood went to public school, but the other 10% or the other 9% probably went to St. John Vianney. If you wanted a private school in Enchanted Lakes, you're going to go to St. John Vianney.
Because it's over there.
Because it's right there.
I understand. The other thing I think about this, Enchanted Lakes is kind of all of the same thing. Here's a little more hodgepodge mashup. Might be little old house on big land, might be big house built up, and then you might go 5 million right over there.
Right.
6, 7, 8 million, really close by.
Yeah, you could get upper nines for a fixer-upper, and then you could easily get 9 million.
Let's brag on Jodie a little bit. You've been in the mortgage game on the island for about 2 decades.
20 years.
Always one of the top, if not the very top lender on the island. And so how many homes do you think you have facilitated sales for as on the lending side in Kailua?
In Kailua?
Because here's the thing, if you reach out to us and you want to move to Kailua or you are buying a home, you're local and you're buying a home in Kailua, whatever the case may be, you need that Kailua knowledge. Well, we introduce you to Jodie for a loan anyways. But say you're like the rare cash buyer. Like, hey, could I talk to your lady Jodie? Because while we know the island super well, someone born and raised in this community. And then along with that, most people are getting loans and hundreds of homes?
200. Yeah, around there.
Just in Kailua alone.
It's a lot of years. And you know, Kailua, that's where I'm from. So there's a lot of people that I went to school here with that called me, can you do our loan? We did, all those people have typically tried to stay in Kailua.
I have this unique house that our clients, you didn't meet them because they're all cash, but they bought not too far from here. I want to show you guys this unique house. It's pretty much a teardown. So interesting thing about this house. So we're actually gonna do, and maybe Kenji will even save this or reuse this for another video, but they actually called Reuse Hawaii and said, we're gonna be tearing this home down. What can you use and take for other projects and families? So it's you like a tax write-off, and then they can take, you know, doors and jealousies, and so they come and like strip the house. So they also called the fire department and said, do you wanna do training? You know, put smoke in the house and access through the house and all this stuff. And they were going to do that, but Kailua Fire Department ended up saying they can or something. It's a unique home, and it just shows the strength of Kailua that someone would buy a home that's in really tear down condition.
I mean, Would you call this tear down?
Well, I admittedly haven't been inside. Aiden and Mahi ran this deal. I understand that there are some more issues on the inside. It's pretty bad. The listing agent was selling it as tear down. And I was gonna say, I can see the roof line doing that. That's actually like the cable line.
We've had tear down, like where it was being marketed as a tear down. We went to the property, everyone went to the property. We sent an appraiser to the property. We felt good about it. And then we actually had the seller's agent switch the verbiage.
Okay.
Switch the condition from like tear down, below average to average condition.
They stopped signaling to the whole market and the wholesale lender that this is a total worthless piece of trash.
Right. And we closed the loan conventional.
But then
so
that's
we've done
cool.
that numerous times.
Because you're getting the property for a worthless piece of trash pricing, but then able to, you know, make something of it. And so it probably forced equity day one.
Yeah, it takes a lot of collaboration, confidence in the diligence that's been done.
Yeah.
But then, we've done that a lot of times where we're like, why are you marketing this as a tear down?
Good for us, bad for you. An interesting thing about a property like this, I haven't looked at the zoning. I'm wondering, can you tear this down, CPR it, make 2 homes, make a flag lot? Now, for the character of the neighborhood, as we mentioned in our last video, we'd rather not do that.
Right.
But for profitability, who knows? That's something with a property this big you might be able to do.
And many properties in Kailua have done that.
There's all sorts of like 33A and 33Bs in Kailua, right?
Right.
So let me show you something crazy in the backyard.
Did you see the crown flower tree?
The crown flower tree?
Yeah.
What? Where's that?
Right there.
What is that?
Crown flower.
What is that?
It's just crown flower.
What color is it?
It's purple. It's
The purple that drops everywhere?
My second to the favorite one. No, it's the one that, that raises the butterflies. All the caterpillars are on it.
Look at this. That was a pool. If you can talk in present tense and call it a pool, but instead of repair it, speaking to maybe people inheriting properties that they no longer have means to maintain in a neighborhood like Kailua, rather than restore this thing, they built a deck over it. Such an interesting move. But look how cool of a property.
It's a really cool property.
Yeah. This property, Jodie doesn't know these clients necessarily because they bought cash. But this kind of speaks to the hodgepodge matchup of things, like in the middle of Kailua, in this section, the Ku'ule track there's like all kinds of stuff, yeah?
So much. Like even as we were driving here from St. Anthony's, you pass
1 block.
Original property, you see the total fully renovated 2-story, everything manicured out.
Yeah.
But you just get everything. And then we talked about it, but the lot sizes.
For our mainland people, they're like, that's just a normal yard. For this island, which is the majority of Hawaii's population, this is a huge yard.
Huge. There are a lot of other ones too where it's been sectioned out and it's just way smaller.
Because if you can profit by turning this into 2 homes, sometimes you do it for profit, sometimes you do it because I want to stay here, but I'm going to keep the back house and extend my retirement on the first house and or the other house in the front. So there's all sorts of reasons it happens, but you just don't find this old school, like, oh, I used to go get lost in the woods in the back of my house and have a tree house in my backyard. You don't see that a lot in Hawaii, and not in a place as expensive per square foot as Kailua. This is where it all began, huh?
It is.
Does it look like it used to?
There wasn't a fence around it. It wasn't contained, and there were seesaws.
It's nice to have that fence. You don't think about that till you have little kids, but when you have those little kids, you're like, okay, I could actually like calm my brain for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is where it all started, and Jodie started her soccer career. Full ride scholarship?
Yeah.
Tell them about the Masters.
I got handpicked to basically beta this program that the head of the econ department had been wanting to employ, but he couldn't find the right like beta testing student. So I met him as a freshman in his freshman seminar, and he was like, what's your major? And I said, I'm here to play soccer. And so they made me exercise and sports science. That was my major. And he basically was like, I can tell you really like this stuff. I think you should switch your major. You can make it financial development economics. You can do this special program where you'll get your undergrad and your master's degree we'll squeeze it into like 4 years.
Wasn't the thing is that you finished your bachelor's early?
Yeah.
And then they said, well, we can't give you a scholarship for your senior year of soccer for a master's degree. It's for undergrad. And you were like, well, I'm finished with undergrad, so give it to me for my master's or I'm out, right?
Right. They were like, well, you can't leave.
Yeah.
You need to play your 4th year.
Whereas I failed out at Leeward Community College. You know, that just goes to show that you can take different paths, right? You know what? For Lanikai, I know what the big fuss is about, but I wouldn't want to live most places in Lanikai. Now, a lot of our clients do want to live here. The ocean is right there. See those two trees sticking up? That's the ocean, one of the most picturesque beaches in the world. It's closer to the Mokes. Unless I were living on the cliff here, Alapapa, one of these streets, with that view, I don't want to live amongst all this traffic. There's always some detour traffic. There was a thing last year where it's taking people 4 hours to get out of here.
I mean, it has that similar issue, and there's just so many people that want to hike Pillbox, and there's just so many people, tourists, that want to be at the beaches.
Go to this beach specifically.
Right.
Yeah.
If I was a local, I would be pretty irritated too.
Here's the question. I don't mean to hate on it, because you should still go to coreteamhawaii.com and go to the bottom. If you want to live in Lanikai, we pride ourselves in being honest and objective, and we're going to caution you. And here's the thing. If I caution you about a neighborhood or a street, or you sure you want to put your kids in that school, if I caution you, and you're like, no, I appreciate that caution, but no, we love it. We had clients who bought up here. I wrote them a long email saying, I don't know if you should buy this home. We don't care about the commission. I don't know if you should buy this home. And they said, we appreciate that. We still want it. And they were stretching themselves. You remember this deal? Mm-hmm. They were stretching, but they were like, no, we really want it. Have you seen that view?
Yeah.
And it's the right thing for them, because now they forced some equity. It's worth more. They fixed the foundation. They did some things. But if we caution you and you still want it, that's great. There's some challenges. So being a Kailua girl, even with $1 billion net worth, do you have a home in Lanikai?
$1 billion?
Well, I
mean, if I had $1 billion net worth, yes, I absolutely would.
You pick Lanikai over other parts of Kailua Beach. That's really, I guess, the better question.
I would pick a Kailua Beach Road house.
Okay. That just shows $1 billion net worth. You may still not. However, a lot of people, this is their end all be all.
There's some clout to being like, no, not Kailua Lanikai.
But let's talk positively about it. You know what's cool about that? Is a lot of times when you have these clouty neighborhoods, it doesn't feel as like shoes off, throw ball at the park. So Lanikai does all that at those monstrous price points, but then it's cool still. You know, it's still acai bowls and
mom and dad with their adult children, with their grandkids, taking really nice family walks. And I don't think necessarily these are people that it's like maybe the kids are home visiting from the mainland or whatever. But like when I come here, I see people and I'm like, you kind of got it right.
They're living well.
You kind of got it right. You kind of got the right idea. Like, let's get on a
neighbors
bike.
who are tight. Kenji mentioned, like, how is all this parking here? Usually there's no parking. And he's like, someone got to be looking out the window. And wow, some neighborhoods can have some Karens and some, what do you call the guy version?
Karen.
Yeah, well, some neighborhoods can have that. But with that also comes this tight-knit community. And Lanikai is this tight-knit. People are barbecuing and charcuterie boarding and walking to the beach and having a sunset glass of wine, maybe a sunrise mimosa, all that stuff here a lot of the time.
It's a really cool community.
With some unique architecture and pieces of real estate too.
There's some beautiful homes that you can they're entertaining homes. They were built to entertain. Those are the kinds of houses that are special.
One definite challenge, or three definite challenges to Lanikai: the parking, the traffic, and the getting out, 1A and 1B, and the reception.